welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't posted in a long time. Uh, I know one of my goals for 2021 is to try to do more video stuff. I did a lot of photography stuff for 2020. Um, and then the goal for 2021 is to keep up with that and then keep up with the podcast, which is FR Locked. If you haven't listened to it, go check that out. And then also do more YouTube and stuff like that for 2021. And wheeling, that kind of stuff, maybe some drift events. We'll see how it all goes, but that's the goal for 2021. So to start off 2021, I'm going to go over what I carry in my rig for every time I go wheeling. It kind of varies from winter to summer, but for the most part, it's just a couple things that I have easy accessible in the wintertime and less accessible in the summertime, just to make everything a little bit more different, and depending on like how far we're going and that kind of stuff. So I'll kind of go over that now. All right, so for the most part, this box stays the same all year round. First thing you can see there, obviously, spare long travel CV. This one I had in the truck for a while. It makes a little bit of noise, so I need to buy another CV and actually rebuild it, but it still works and everything. It's just snow season now, and I didn't want to have to try to change it on a snow wheeling trip unless I have to, so preemptively swapped it out with the good one I had. So spare CV, I keep a funnel in here, obviously for, oil and shit like that. I mostly actually use it for my fuel tank, or fuel can. I hate carrying a bunch of extra things, and I know obviously using a funnel isn't as safe for fuel. You just have to keep that in mind and, take precautions when you're actually fueling or using my jerry can that I carry with me. So that kind of is 2-for-1 thing. And then inside of it, I always just keep a can of brake clean. Over here in this box, so this stuff always comes out when I go wheeling. I'll either throw it behind the driver's seat on the floor or in the passenger seat floor. This is my tree saver with the shackle already on it. And then the winch controller comes out. And I just throw both those on the floor. I've been in situations before where you get stuck and you can't open the back hatch and stuff like that on incline, so it's just easier to keep that as accessible as possible. Snatch block in here all the time too. That I don't put on the floor because I don't use it as often, and if I use it, I most likely have a little bit more time and can deal with having to get to the back of the truck a little bit simpler. Winch mat, which I don't use often because I use synthetic line, but I'll use it if I'm if the winch line's running over a rock or rubbing on the ground or something. I'll throw this in a contact spot, or if I'm using a snatch block, then I put this on too because all the extra energy that could be used. I keep 3 extra tie rods in here just for other people or whatever. I have another inner in that box, and then obviously one with an extension on it already because I have the Tundra tie rods in there now. I'm going to make an extra set of those, most likely swap the ones that I have in there out, and then just put those in here, and then just carry one of these and the one with the extension on it, the 2 extras Tundra ones, and then that should be plenty, and that will be for more further trips and stuff like that. I'm not as concerned when I'm local, but if we go to Oregon or go to Moab or something like that, it's a little bit nicer to have several spares. That way if you do break something, you can actually keep wheeling and be able to break it again. So as far as that's basically what goes in the box first, and let me set this up and then we'll add some more stuff to it. Other than that stuff, I always carry a bottle jack in here. It just lays down like that. I use that if I need to, do a CV swap or change a tie rod or change a wheel or something like that. I very rarely use my high lift except for recovery, and it's really good to have 2 jacks anyway. Those are pretty bottle jacks damn near weigh the same amount as the high lift does, but it's just good to have 2 jacks when you're out there, especially because high lifts are dangerous and they can fail. And it's hard for me to high lift the back of my truck up, and because of the down travel anyway. So to get the wheel off the ground, you usually have to strap it and then jack it up or something like that. So it's just easy to throw that underneath the axle, bump it up, and then we're good to go there. Everything else gets thrown in here. My this is a 1/16 or something like that. I can't remember. 1/8. That my lower uniballs take that size, and then my alignment bolts, because I have the Poly Performance alignment lockouts, the nut takes that, so I keep that in there. I always keep a breaker bar in there, and then I also keep I've always kept a torque wrench in here. Recently I got a 3/8 drive torque wrench that is 20 to 150 foot-pounds, so that will do 99% of the things that I need. Obviously, like the front axle nuts are 170 and stuff like that. I usually just send those on with impact, so it doesn't matter. But I got that one because it's low enough to do my bead lock rings and stuff like that, so it's just a little bit better for that. Anything that takes that higher torque spec I'm probably not doing on the trail, or I can run it on with the impact or use a breaker bar and then take care of it when I get home if I have to. This tray that's supposed to sit up in here, I keep too much weight in it, so it doesn't ever actually work. I have a bag of extra bolts in here. I have a few extra bolts for my upper and lower links, extra lug nuts in here, and then miscellaneous bolts, Toyota bolts and stuff like that, that I figure I might need. ARB deflator that I never use, a good tire pressure gauge, two steering rack bolts, and this is literally just in here because it's a extra plug for wiring, for my lights. And then these are the alignment plates, the Poly Performance ones, the spare ones that I have, just so I don't lose them. Bar for the bottle jack, just a random multi-tool with pliers on it. It's easy to accessible. Spare brake line. This is a spare factory length rear brake line that would run from like the cross member to the axle. The reason I just carry this one as a spare is because it's long enough to where I can use it in the front, because it's long. My truck's long travel, so I have the extended brake lines anyway, and this is actually long enough, and I found that out the easy way, I guess. I burst a brake line on the trail, one of my braided ones, and I had both of these in my truck, and so I just swapped it out to this, and it works just fine. Obviously I need to put a braided one back in that side because they're a little bit better, but it's a good spare to have because I can also use this in the rear if I break one of those braided ones or something like that. I just have to be careful because of down travel, but it will get you off the trail very easily. I keep quick JB Weld in there. I keep a bunch of zip ties in here randomly. Now in this spot here, I put this tool roll, which I recently just got too. I used to keep everything kind of in like individual Ziploc bags inside of a bag, and it was never functioned how I want. This is super nice because I can roll it out. In this top pouch here, I keep a little bit more delicate stuff, a level that's good for like set and camber if it gets real fucked off. This ARB kit has extra Schrader valves and valve stems and stuff like that in it. Tire plug, Teflon tape. I have like 2 different rolls of Teflon tape. These are the air pressure switches for ARB compressors. I have 3 of them in here, 4 of them in here. Some of these belong to a buddy, but yeah, these, I had one go out on the trail, so they're cheap it's like 2 for $10, so I bought 2 of them just to have. And here's all my 1/2-inch stuff. So 1/2-inch ratchet, 1/2-inch sockets, all the size I need. Impact extensions, and lug key, that kind of stuff in that one. This one is all my 3/8 stuff, same thing. Impact extensions, my 3/8 ratchet is in here, my 1/2 inch ratchet's in there. And this one is all my wrenches. I do just carry full set. I want to get a set of ratcheting wrenches just to make things a little bit easier on the trail to have ratcheting wrenches, but it's not a necessity. Bunch of different size adjustable wrenches, pipe wrench for doing tie rods, and then in here I keep pliers, the axle nut wrench, or axle nut socket, pry bars, picks, and then in case you ever need to check your tread depth on the trail to show that you have the most tread depth or something, I just store the miscellaneous stuff in there. Yeah, this thing keeps everything much better packaged than how I was doing it before, and I'm super stoked on having that. So I'll get that rolled up and thrown in there, and then we'll keep going here. So that just drops in like that, super easy, super well packaged. That is just the Amazon one. So, I mean, there's a lot better ones out there probably. That's all canvas and nylon webbing and everything. I think it's plenty strong. We'll roll with it. No pun intended. That one got me. We'll roll with it, see how it goes. If I do end up going through it really fast, maybe I'll look into a better one. But they're so cheap that, you know, if you do end up wearing one out or something like that, you can just buy another one on Amazon. I always keep a ball peen hammer in here, just in case. You never know when you're going to need it. Impact goes in here. Batteries on the charger. And then the only other thing that actually goes in this box is this bag here, and this is spare shackles. And it just drops in there. So that has a few extra spare shackles in it. I'll talk more about this in a minute. But I keep 2 shackles on that in the wintertime too, for snow season. So let me get this closed up and put back in the truck, and then we'll go about the other things that I keep in the back of the truck, secondary to this box. So back here, I keep the high lift, big proponent of keeping those inside to keep the mechanism not rusty and shit, so they work. 2x4, easy footprint for cheap, easy footprint for the high lift or the bottle jack or whatever. And then CO2 tank stays back here too, strapped in, and this also gets a strap around that end of it too. In here, this box is like the perfect size, it fits great. And then jerry cans in here. I throw my air tank or my air hose around the air tank. I forgot to mention in here I keep power tank, air chuck, super nice. I keep that in there. And then behind here I'll show you, I throw my spare driveline in here. I don't usually need to carry it, but it's just easy storage back here. So throw that in here, and then I throw the recovery, the kinetic rope on top in the wintertime, because basically as soon as we get out snow wheeling, it comes out, hook it to my rear recovery point, and I wrap it around my spare tire. That way it's just easy to get to, because snow wheeling, you're just bound to get stuck anyway. Alright guys, that's pretty much packed up for the back of the truck. I forgot to say, I throw a shovel in here too. It's just a small, not small, I mean it's like a, 3-foot handle, 4-foot handle, flat shovel. Good for snow and digging shitholes and stuff like that. That's a kinetic rope. I fucking hate kinetic ropes for how the packaging on them is just not good. Like, they don't fit anywhere very nice. That's why in the summertime that's usually tucked all the way down below everything else. Because in the summertime we're usually not using that. I'll usually just winch people out or winch myself up. It's way easier that way. That stuff goes over there. Everything's very tight and pretty organized. One thing that I do carry on longer trips are these toe plates. These are actually my girlfriend's because she drifts, and I do most of the alignments, or I do the alignments on that myself, and then I also do alignments on my truck myself. A little bit of equipment, you can get it dialed in super nice. These are super nice for when, like, if I'm going more than like 100 miles, I'll take these with. because I haven't had any issues since I've done the Tundra tie rods and solid rack bushings. But before, you could knock your toe out pretty easily. So I got, for these, I take them with, because, tires and shit is expensive. So if you can, get your toe back dialed in with these, just carry these in 2 tape measures, and it's an easy way to set your toe when you're back on trail again. I haven't had to do it since the cam tab lockouts, the Tundra tie rods, and the solid mounting the rack has helped significantly with that stuff. 2 things that I recommend if you're going on longer trips and you're rolling on a big tire, or big-ish tire. 37s obviously aren't a huge tire, but on an FJ, they're definitely a bigger tire. And especially with the 38s coming, I'm going to get a spare rack and modify it and everything how I need it. Blow the bushings out, make another set of solid rack bushings for that, and I'll put that inside like a 6-inch piece of PVC pipe, and I'll use like hose clamps and put it up underneath the rear bumper, so I have a spare steering rack in there. And then if I'm going to like Moab or something, which we're going to Moab, so that's why I want the spare rack. And then I'm also going to rebuild that CV that's in the box right now, and then I'm going to get 2 new boots, an inner, and basically buy another CV, strip it down though, so it's all grease free and easy to just pop right into another CV. So if I'm gone for 4 or 5 days, or if I break one, and I can go back to the house or whatever when we're in Moab, and I can take the broken one apart and reassemble a new one, that kind of thing. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm going to try to do more of this stuff in 2021. I don't know if it'll be on a semi-regular basis or what. I think I do enough things where I can easily put a video together at least every 2 weeks, or at least once a month. I'm not trying to make money or anything on this. It's not like I have a bunch of subscribers on YouTube. It's just something I really like doing. You guys watching, go find me on Instagram, Team Broverland. If you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, hit that subscribe button, and also go check out the FR Locked podcast. It's available on most